Hi, and welcome back to the Miscalculations of Lightning Girl video series. I'm the author, Stacy McAnulty. This video is intended for readers that have finished chapter 16, 17, and 18. So where did we leave off? Okay, at this point, we kind of have our first team meeting. We have Lucy, Wendy, and Levi getting together and doing a group project. So, do you guys love group projects or kind of detest group projects? Sometimes they can be great. It depends on who you're working with. And in most cases, they're learning experiences. You can, work with all different kinds of people in projects, and y'all got to figure out how you're going to get it done. So this is definitely not the easiest group to work with. Wendy and Levi are very different people, and Lucy is kind of new to this whole thing, so they're all trying to work it out. So I love this in chapter 16 where we're kind of jumping into a group project and all the fun that goes along with that. Also in these chapters we come across Levi's photography site. I think I call it Artboom, and I think this is the first time Lucy really kind of connects with Levi's photography. So Lucy sees the world as math. She sees math in everything. She wants the numbers. She wants to calculate everything. Levi doesn't see the world like that at all. He's seeing it through the lens of his camera, which is just very different than Lucy. So I think it's really kind of neat when we sit back for a second and think about how we all view the world. We all have different pasts, and we all have different passions, so we're viewing the world differently. And when Lucy comes to the Artboom website, she's seeing more clearly the differences, and I think it's just a really fun moment. Now, I'm often asked, is MathWiz or Artboom real? Are they real websites? They are not. I made them up. I actually did try to go out there and buy the domain names like mathwiz.com or something like that, but I couldn't buy it, at least not for a reasonable amount of money. So I don't own those. I think the names are owned, but I don't believe they're working websites. In these chapters, we also go to the pet hut for the first time, which is really fun. So for a very short period of time, I volunteered with the Humane Society. So I kind of imagined it like when I was a volunteer, and the way they took kennels and they stacked them because they had so many dogs in need of homes. So big dogs on the bottom and then smaller dogs on the top. So I kind of modeled it off the time I worked volunteered at the Humane Society. Also, it is supposed to be like a Pizza Hut. There's a Pizza Hut in my town that closed. It was a place we used to go a lot. I remember bringing my daughter there for, I think it was her 12th birthday. We went to a movie and then went to that Pizza Hut. And it closed, and the building was vacant for a long time, and I just kind of imagined that it became an animal shelter. That building has now been bought, if anybody cares, and it is a car rental place. So it didn't end up becoming an animal shelter, but it is not a Pizza Hut anymore either. So when we go to the pet hut, we see Lucy kind of taking it all in. She's not comfortable with animals. She doesn't love all dogs. And I know some of you out there are huge dog lovers and maybe can't relate, but someone who's not raised around animals, they can be scary. And some people just don't have that connection. And we'll see if that's going to change. So she is not drawn to animals, but then she realizes, hey, there's some numbers here, or there might be some numbers here to play with. So we'll see what she does with that. The only other thing I want to point out in these chapters is Cherish, who is Wendy's older sister. So I threw Cherish in there so we didn't have to ask parents for rides all the time. It was nice to have an older sister with a car that can drive our characters around. So I thought that was nice. I don't know where I came up with the name Cherish. It felt like it just popped in my head. I'm like, okay, if we have a Wendy, the other daughter's name is not going to be Susan. It's going to be something a little different. So Cherish popped into my head. And what I didn't realize until after the book was published, is that Cherish and Wendy are related in a kind of a strange way, or an interesting way that it wasn't in the front of my brain. So I told you a couple videos ago that Windy was named in a song by the Association. Maybe you looked it up. So a song that my mom used to like when she was a kid. And it turns out the Association has a song called Cherish, which is another great song if you like oldies. So the Association has the song Windy and the song Cherish, and that must have been like deep in the back of my mind, and I didn't realize it. So I had the character Windy, who's a pretty important character, and when I had to come up with a sister, my brain decided to pick another song by the group The Association. So I think that's kind of interesting, how these things happen without even really thinking about them. All right, so that's all I'm going to say about 16, 17, and 18, and I will see you after you read your next 3 chapters. Bye, guys.